Please give it up for Felipe.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. As the title said, I want to talk a little bit about the big picture, something that I learned working at Twilio. And it's basically a vision to what had to be done for the next 3 to 5 years. And one of the main topics inside of that picture for us is the community. So myself, I'm from Chile. I live in Estonia for about 4 years. Before that, I was moving around with my girlfriend, today my wife, through different countries, Vietnam, etc. And I work at SendGrid, today is Twilio SendGrid, as a community builder, moving around the world, mainly focusing Europe, Middle East, and part of APAC. And community for us is extremely important, and it's a foundation for our company. We came from a startup background, being really small, getting support to do stuff, to learn stuff. So I believe that tech companies should support their communities. And I want to explain a little bit why it's not as hard as many of founders and CEOs might think. So the big picture, as I said before, is a view of what has to be done in the next 3 to 5 years. That's something that we have internally. So I'm working as a community builder. Here I have a little example of moving around the world, doing what I'm doing now. I also do mentoring. I teach startups about growth hacking. I prefer to call it ethical growth hacking, because for me, it's if a company doesn't try to grow ethically, you're going to die. Sooner or later, something is going to happen. Somebody's going to talk about your bad practices and stuff like that. So we try to provide and give back to the community all the good practices to become a better company and to support your community. So why tech companies should and can support communities? So we have resources. There's a cultural change. We focus on human experiences. We can see the future and also the future employees that they could join our companies, and also the ROI, because nothing is for free. So when we talk about the resources, this is a real photo of people that work in our company. This is not a stock photo from somewhere. These are real employees of Twilio. And we believe in diversity. We believe that they're our capital, that allow us to grow, that allow us to connect with more people. And obviously in a company like ours that we've been disrupting our market, we have innovative people, disruptive, freaking brilliant and smart. And our internal network allows us, between us, we are about 2,000 employees with 20 offices around the world. So you can imagine that if we just turn internally to talk about communities and how to support our own communities, we can do a lot. Something that we truly believe is that if you take care of your community, not your employees necessarily, but your community, your employees' families, your employees' daycares, and actions that happen outside, everyone around your company is going to be happier. That is going to give back to your employees. Your employees are going to be happier, are going to be more productive. So it's going to get back to you. And that's why it's so important to focus in communities today. We have internet. We love Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, blah, 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 blah. But this new generation called millennials, that many people really don't like them because they're so entitled to their own opinion, are the ones that they're demanding to tech companies to become more human, to be more honest, to be more human. Like, let's talk one-on-one. Behind a screen, there's a human. Even that today, everybody's like 24/7 looking at their phones. Doesn't matter if you go to the toilet, you're in a bus, you're in a car. Doesn't matter where you are there. But at the end, there's a human using your app, using your service. Companies is something that has been for the last 10, 15 years, the culture change. Become more agile, let's fail. Let's try to do something, see if it works. If it works, let's keep making it better. If it fails, well, let's pivot and move to something else. Everybody needs to move faster. Because today, to build a startup, like just to have the technological app, is pretty easy and cheap. You can go to Code Canyon and buy the script for an Uber clone for $50. It's not going to work in a scale, but you have kind of like a simple MVP. To scale and grow a company and create a real culture, that's the really hard part. That's why today so many investors are not so focused on the technology, but they're focused on the team. Because if it fails, what else you can do after that? So I want to invest in human capital, not just in tech. Everybody knows blockchain, but nobody really cares about it. So human experiences. In our company, we have our own conference called Signal. Well, even that we are an API company and we provide an online services, we have our own opportunity to engage and connect with all those champions and developers that live around our own ecosystem, that we want to empower them to build more stuff. Through our services, later on I'm going to explain how we give back to the community, but I came from SendGrid, and we got acquired and merged in February. And I've been learning about Twilio and how much we really care about community and the amazing things that they do. There's a service in the US that uses SMS to report personal crisis, and they're saving life. But that SMS have to get on the right time when they're sending it so they can save that life, that person that wants to commit suicide or something. So it's really critical to understand and get to know your community to provide them the real support that they need and not just give a coupon or a free account. Educate the future employees. How many of you work in a medium, large size company? Raise your hand. How is it to hire talent? There's a crisis around the world of hiring talent. On one side, because millennials are demanding way more than just a salary. They want all the kind of good environment, self-development, and stuff like that. So today you need to start focusing on how I can attract in 3 to 5 years the talent that I'm going to need to build the next 10, 20 years of company. So one of the good things about community is that you can turn back and start training them, start giving them knowledge, learnings, workshops. That's one of the main things that I do. I try to train them about growth hacking. For me, growth hacking is not about going and download an email list from LinkedIn and then spam everyone, because that's what everybody offers. For me, growth hacking is understanding the psychology behind your user, behind your consumer, and how I can reach him if I don't have a direct connection. How I can connect with his brother, how I can connect with his best friend. The last time that probably you went to a restaurant is because somebody that you trust told you, go there because it's incredible. So when you're connecting with a community and you're getting to know people that is interested in what you're doing, is the best spot to give them the proper knowledge. So later on, they're going to be something that I learned, that you're going to be grateful of how much you give to them, that they want to end up joining your company. They're going to be like, I'm totally proficient in, I don't know, SMS API as you do. Can I join the team? Of course, because you truly love what we do. You see the end goal. You see the end result of working with that API, with that service. And that's what you should really focus on. If you're working with a community, try to think ahead. Maybe 2 or 3 of everyone that is joining my workshop could be an employee later on. My main job at the company is not building community, is to hire people. And that's the main thing that they tell us. We have like 300 open positions right now. It's like, we need to hire, but it's really hard to find the right people. And ROI, nothing is for free. So when a corporate is working on a community, one side is to have the ROI in a money. They ended up paying as a customers in one point or not. They can bring other customers into the company. But also, ROI can be the return of happiness in your team, having everyone more productive. What I'm doing to have them more productive and more happy so we can make a bigger impact in the world. And then I know that it sounds a little bit like Silicon Valley TV show, like let's change life one at a time and all that beautiful startup thingy, but it's true. Like I've seen different projects using our services in a way that I never expected, and the guys are like, look what we did in our, I don't know, I've been working with Pakistan for the last 3 years. I went there to Karachi for a conference. I never been so happy in a place with so many people that want to meet me, that want to hear whatever thing I want to hear, and I never got so many dinner invitations. And they were so, so, so grateful. Until today, they're like, when are you coming back? We want to connect with you, we want to connect with your friends, we want to connect with more people. And that's about ROI, that's community. That's when you start seeing everyone coming back, everyone being like, with whom else you would like to connect? Let me help you. And that's because you did an impact. That's because your company really focused on that. So, as I mentioned before, both companies, they merged into one. Twilio and SendGrid, we are the companies behind SMS, email, video, WhatsApp API, et cetera, 25 services in total for Uber, Spotify, Booking.com, and all the large companies. So inside of our big picture, we have the community, and this is how we support them. So we run a program for a startup where we help them, we mentor them, we try to give them access to our network, our partners, and basically help them to grow for 12 months. Many companies and many partners there at the beginning, they're like, so what do you get in return? Obviously, at the end, if after a 12-month program, they ended up making money, doing some revenue, they're going to turn into a customer. So some partners, they're like, oh, that's not so ethical. I'm like, we're providing them 12 months of support, network, care, knowledge. If they ended up growing, we did something really good. And if they have the capacity to pay for the service later on, great. We're also a company, so we also have to make money. And that's something that sometimes get a little bit twisted with social entrepreneurship. No, I'm doing all this for free because I want to help my community, I want to help here, here, and there. And I'm like, cool, so how are you gonna maintain yourself? How are you gonna pay your employees, your team members? So nothing is for free. So try to think about that. Other way that we help communities is Twilio.org. So at Twilio in February, it was announced that we gave another $1.3 million in grants. No equity, no nothing in return, just to support communities. It was like 20 different projects, if I'm not wrong, in totally diverse and different areas. It's not just one tech focus that we have. So we provide SMS. Almost anything can use SMS. Africa is a continent that moves around SMS. 1% pledge. How many of you heard about 1% pledge? So that was created by the founder of Salesforce. And basically, companies offer and give 1% of equity, time of their employees, and services back to the community. So if your company is making $300, $400, $500 million, that's $3, $4, $5 million that you give back to the community automatically. And also the time of your team, the resources of your company, and the numbers keep growing and growing and growing. And for example, Salesforce just announced that they acquired Salesforce.org to get them back into the company as a new business side that they're going to keep supporting the same way, but that they realize that that should be inside of the company. I personally don't understand exactly how it works, but what they've been doing from day one is just incredible. The amount of money, time, support, and knowledge that they're trying to give to everyone. And then we have another 7, 8 different initiatives that we work with the developer community. We are an API company, so our main focus is developers. At SendGrid side, our main focus is founders and entrepreneurs. So now we merge both sides, and we have the entire ecosystem of entrepreneurship. We work with more than 300 global partners. I travel in a different country almost every single week, talking and meeting with people from all kind of backgrounds, all kind of accelerators for impact, for B2B, for SaaS, for fintech, etc. And our developer community keep growing and growing and growing. We have millions of developers learning every single day how they can achieve and do more with our technology. And that's the main goal that we have as a community team. We want to empower them as much as possible to create something that is going to change the life of someone, that is going to improve their own business, it's going to improve the community business. It doesn't matter what, but it improves something and give back to their communities. So I run a little bit fast. I still have like 5 minutes and a half. But I want to invite everyone to join our Accelerate program. So it's for early stage growth and scale startups, where the main idea is to support them for 12 months. It's equity free, there's no contract, There's no attachment. You just need a totally free account. Go to just that website, fill the form, and then you are part of our team. We have around 1,500 to 2,000 active startups every year, 330 partners. We connect startups with accelerators. We came from Techstars. So we work hand by hand with Techstars, startup Wise Guys, Katapult, 500 startups, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we want to give you those connections so you can grow your company. For us, there's nothing in return of like connecting you to someone. My personal return is to see a founder later on send me an email being like, thank you. I got accepted. I got 20K. I could hire now 2 more guys, and we're growing. That kind of return, that kind of ROI for me personally is what makes my job so freaking amazing. Like when I can see someone growing. My background is startups, and I fail in 9 of 10. 1 was okay. The other 9 was like 3 epic fail. Like epic. Because I didn't know how to. So I decided to join, and I have a really close criteria. I was like, I want to join a company with a startup background that is going to go big, and I can grow and work with startup communities. And lucky me, I found the perfect spot. That's what I do, everything that I describe. SendGrid, I joined in 2016. We were a private company coming from an accelerator. Year later, we did IPO. Year later, we got acquired in $3 billion. And in February, we merged with the company. So I finally started learning what it takes to grow a company and remove all that startup mindset of like, oh yeah, like if I'm a corporate, my company is going to die. The main thing that I learned is that you are still a startup and earning $10,000 or $1,000 a month because you don't have the mindset for growth. And a corporate is making 100 million because they have a proper mindset to go big and not just like, let's change life 1 at a time. No, let's change life 1 million at a time. So as a startup Estonia was explaining, try to think a little bit more globally. Try to understand your community. Your community is not just around you or your office. Like, for me, my community is in every single country in the world. And every single entrepreneur and every single partner that want to grow and want to have access to the resources that we have. So I invite to everyone to join us. That's my email. Thank you very much.
We probably have time for maybe one quick question for Felipe. What questions do you have? Wow. Okay, good. Can we get a mic? Excellent. And so again, refresh name, organization, question.
Hi, I'm Manny with Yellow Code from Montreal. And this is going to sound like a weird question because it's more technical. So instead of, I know you're under the SendGrid side, and obviously it's been acquired by Twilio. And you guys talk about a lot of ethical, how you kind of factor that in terms of your business. So how do you factor in, or what processes are in place to combat phone text bots or whatnot that has a huge issue right now in North America too?
Yeah, I also saw John Oliver about it. I have no idea. Like, I'm straightforward and honest. Like, I don't know. We just merged in February. I still have to learn 25 services. So I know that we work extremely hard. Like in SendGrid, we send 1.8 billion emails every single day. We're the largest email senders in the world. And obviously, we get spammers like crazy. And we fight every single day, just kicking out of our platform spammers. And I assume that in Twilio it's exactly the same. I cannot comment anymore because I have no idea. So that's the reality, and that's the honest answer.
That is a very honest response for sure. All right, one other really quick question. I know that, yeah, please, so over here. Excellent.
Thanks, Felipe. It's really impressive.
Thank you.
Vision for you. It's almost matching with our vision and the passion in Escola.net regarding community and educate something new for communities. My question is, what's the criteria, and depending on it, you select the startup, you're going to support it?
What is the criteria?
What's the criteria? Depending on it, you select the startup you're going to support. You ask us to submit our startup portfolio, so you're going to support for 12 months.
So the criteria to accept you into the program.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So we do it manually. We are 6 in our team. We get thousands of applications every year, and we do it manually for the main reason that we're going to give you a full program for 12 months. So if you're not ready yet to start sending emails, you are still working on your prototype or whatever you're doing in your project, we're going to tell you, if you want, you can join now. The credits are already there in your account. You can upgrade. But I recommend you to join a month before you're going to launch, so you don't waste your time and anything before. So we do it manually. We have an automated process, but that at the end is myself going to Salesforce and our platform and connecting everything and welcome you to the program. But it's your decision when you want to join.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Felipe.
Thank you.